Alright, here's the deal. I hurt my elbow, and then I pop a pill. Sounds simple, right? But here's the wild part. This tiny pill travels all the way from my stomach, and somehow, it goes straight to my elbow, and boom, the pain is gone. What if I told you that this isn't magic, but actually science doing its thing? Today, we're going to uncover how exactly a tiny pill knows where the pain is, and why it works the way it does. By the end of this video, you'll never look at your painkiller the same way again. So let's dive in. First things first, I swallow the pill, and it travels down my esophagus to my stomach. Now this is not exactly a pleasant place for the pill. The stomach is like an acid-filled pit, and if the pill had feelings, it'd be wishing for a beach vacation at that point. But nope, it's gotta power through. It dissolves in the acid, and once it's fully dissolved, it moves into the small intestine, where it gets absorbed into the bloodstream. Now, our little pill is on a journey through my body. It's got a ticket to ride to places far and wide. But here's the catch. How does it know where the pain is? Here's where it gets really interesting. Pain isn't actually in your body, it's all happening in your brain. I know, crazy, right? But stay with me. The brain is the one interpreting the signals, but the process starts before it even gets there. In almost every tissue in your body, there's an enzyme called cyclooxygenase, or COX. When your cells get hurt or stressed, they release a bunch of chemicals. COX absolutely loves these chemicals, especially one called arachidonic acid. You can think of COX like a hungry Pac-Man gobbling up the acid, transforming it into a compound that sends pain signals. These signals travel through your peripheral nervous system, that's all the nerves outside your brain and spine, and eventually reach the brain, where the signals get interpreted as pain. But here's the crazy part. The brain doesn't just accept the pain signal, it actually amplifies it. The brain turns the volume on the pain all the way up. It's kind of like hearing a loud noise, and then someone cranks it even louder. The pain gets worse because of this amplification. Now that's some next level stuff, right? So, this is where painkillers like Advil come in. These pills don't just relieve the pain, they stop it from even reaching the brain in the first place. How does that work? Well, the pill, which we're calling Ned for this story, actually blocks COX from making those pain-causing chemicals. Think of Ned as a plug that prevents COX from doing its job. Without the pain-causing chemicals, there are no pain signals to send to the brain. No signals means no pain, and because it also stops inflammation, it's like solving two problems at once: less pain, less swelling. But here's the kicker. What about other painkillers like Tylenol? Well, Tylenol or ACE works a little differently. Just like Ned, ACE enters the bloodstream and starts traveling around the body. But instead of targeting the injury site, ACE takes a detour straight to the brain. Once it reaches the brain, it blocks COX there, stopping the brain from amplifying the pain. Now why does ACE go straight for the brain while Ned stays at the injury? Here's where things get interesting. There's something called the blood-brain barrier, which is kind of like a bouncer that only lets certain things into your brain. ACE is small and slippery, so it sneaks past the bouncer and heads straight to the brain. But Ned is just too big and sticky to pass through the barrier, so it stays local and does its job at the injury site. Now this doesn't mean ACE is just better or worse than Ned. They're just doing their jobs in different ways. ACE works in the brain to stop the pain from being amplified, while Ned works directly at the injury to prevent the pain signals from even happening. Pretty cool, right? It's like each pill has its own superhero power to stop the pain, just in different ways. So here's the thing. Next time you take a painkiller, remember, it's not magic, it's science. Whether it's Ned or ACE, these pills are doing some pretty clever work in your body. But what about you? What's your go-to painkiller? Do you prefer the magic of Advil, or do you trust ACE to stop the brain from amplifying the pain? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what works best for you. If this video helped you understand how painkillers work, smash that like button, subscribe for more mind-blowing science, and share this video with someone who's always wondering why that little pill does its job so well. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.